All right, guys. So, yeah, I wanted to do a video just kind of on the last year of my life, 8 months or so since separating from my wife, who we were married for pretty much 2 years when we separated, and together for pretty much 10 years. So I'm just about 40 years old. I'll be 40 in November of this year, so coming up on it real quick. So I was with her for, since I was pretty much 29 years old, so 1/3 of my life, pretty much. And yeah, this last 8 months being single again has definitely tested me and allowed me to push myself and grow. And yeah, that's why I'm doing this video. I wanted to share with you guys my experience and what it's been like so far, and in the hopes that I can, help or encourage somebody that's in the same situation that I'm in. And also, just to kind of get a little bit off my chest as well, because at times, it can definitely, even though I do have a good amount of friends where I live, everybody's kind of busy, and it can kind of feel, like I'm riding solo again, which is, definitely has its perks, but it can be mentally straining on you as well. So a little bit about me. Currently live in Calgary, Alberta. I'm originally from Toronto. My ex and I moved out here about 3 years ago. And so I don't really have too much family where I live. And I also have 2 young daughters as well. So I have a just about 3-year-old daughter and a just about 2-year-old daughter. They're 13 months apart. So doing the single dad thing now for the last 8 months. Thankfully, I do still get to see my kids quite often. I know a lot of people, or a lot of men, more particularly in my situation, don't get to see their kids that often. So I'm definitely blessed that I can see them, 1 week on, 1 week off. And, that gives me a good enough time to spend with them, still, build a good relationship with them, and, making sure that I'm, being a good influence to them as well. But then on the other hand, it also creates this interesting dynamic for myself with almost kind of feeling like I'm living 2 different lives. So when I have my kids, I'm usually dropping them off at daycare in the morning, and then picking them up in the evening, and then we're coming home, we're hanging out for a couple hours during the week, and then it's bedtime pretty much. And then the weekend that I have them, I have them all day Saturday and Sunday, so we're usually either, on Saturday, maybe going to the zoo or something, hanging out together, and then on Sunday, we typically will go to church in the morning, and then I'll have them for the rest of the day. But I don't really have any family here, so when I have them, I have 2 young girls all by myself Saturday and Sunday. It can definitely be challenging. They definitely put a lot of pressure on me, which I love them to death. But if you've ever had 2 young kids at the same time, they're very demanding, and it can definitely test your patience. That's for sure. So yeah, that's 1 week of my life, and then the next week of my life is, I don't have my kids, so I feel like I'm, something's missing. I definitely miss them, but then I also feel like I have to get out there and, do all the things that I can't do when I have my kids. So whether that's like going on dates with girls, or hanging out with my buddies, or whatever it means, I have this like urge to get out and do things as much as possible. And sometimes that could be actually detrimental, because it allows me not to, or causes me not to focus so much on you know, positive things in my life, like growing. I have a business here in Calgary, so like focusing on my business, or, you know, my health. Sometimes I can get sidetracked, and it's summertime right now too, so there's lots going on, and it's very easy for me to just get caught up in just like chasing girls or whatever it may be. So I'm gonna turn around here because can't really go. Actually, I'm gonna go this way. Yeah, we'll go this way. Yeah, I'm just kind of in a new community here in Calgary, so there's some construction going on, so I'll just put the camera this way. But yeah, so it's weird. It's like, you know, I'm living two different lives. 1 week with my kids and 1 week without my kids. And also, like, let's touch more on, you know, being single now as well. And you know, turning 40, I'm still a young man in my heart, and I know I'm kind of at the halfway point in my life. But it's interesting too, like getting back in the dating scene, whether it be meeting girls kind of throughout the day, or like, you know, if I go out for the night by myself, which I've done, or, you know, through dating apps, which is fascinating as well, doing the dating app thing. But I've definitely noticed that, like, I can attract girls. You know, I'm not a horrible looking person, so I can definitely attract them and they're interested in me. But having two young kids, 3 and 2, definitely, especially like the girls that I've been, you know, chatting with, whether like they're in their late 20s or early 30s, I would say that most of them are, you know, as soon as I tell them that I have 2 young kids, it definitely like changes their outlook on me, and it definitely makes them second guess, you know, pursuing more of a relationship with me. So that's something that I've definitely been kind of, I guess you could call it struggling with a little bit. You know, I'm okay on my own. You know, I'm very focused. Like ever since I broke up with my ex, I've been hitting the gym really hard and really working on, you know, myself, and building up a solid body and solid foundation. But it always kind of seems like there's something missing, right? You know, kind of when you're at home by yourself. Like I do focus on work as much as I can anyways, but it always kind of feels like there's just that one piece missing. And I think a lot in my earlier years when I was younger, before I met my ex, I got a lot of validation from girls, or that's where I felt like I needed to get validation from, is chasing girls. And you know, now fast forward 10 years later when I'm single again, that urge to get validation from females is definitely still there. I don't know if it's ever going to go away, but I'm trying really hard to, you know, just keep focusing on myself and building my business, you know, being present with my girls when I have them. And where was I going with that? Present with my girls when I have them. And yeah, just, you know, just kind of building my business too, right? And my body up and eating right and whatnot. So that's definitely kept me very on track. And also too, like not succumbing to substances either. Like when I was younger, I used to drink quite a bit, especially on weekends. You know, when out partying with my friends, and I used to smoke a lot of weed too. So it's interesting going through this time and staying sober and just kind of facing everything. It you know, sometimes I feel like it would just be easier to just go to the bar and get hammered and you know, get my validation that way and talk to chicks. But I have done that a couple times in the last 8 months, and man, like the hangovers, like I would just feel like shit for the next couple days, and it just makes you kind of feel depressed, right? And even emptier. So it's not worth it. It's not worth it, guys. Yeah, so I don't know where I'm going with this. I just figured I'd put this on video and get my thoughts out there and share a little bit of what's going on with my life. It's an interesting time. You know, I am starting to starting to become more okay with just being on my own, and I think that's ultimately where I want to get to. And you know, having two young daughters is such a blessing, and you know, focusing on them and you know, being a good father for them is definitely my main priority. But yeah, I don't know, I can't kick this feeling of, you know, searching for something that is missing. And I'm just noticing that a lot of the times, like, the girls that I'm chatting to, like, they're just, I don't know if it's maybe because I'm just freshly out of a relationship 8 months ago, or just having two super young kids is more of a deterrent to them. But yeah, it's not really that great. So yeah, I'm just kind of starting this channel now, and this is my first video, so I want to do some more videos just kind of going through what I'm going through right now and my journey, and I want to share it with you guys in the hopes that I can you know, kind of help out some other men that are in my situation. And yeah, if you are in a similar situation, I'd love to hear from you down in the comments. Yeah, I'd love to hear kind of what you're going through right now. If you have kids, if you don't have kids, you know, how's it been breaking up with your ex? For me, it's been it's been pretty, as of now, for the last 8 months, it's been pretty cordial. Like, she's been pretty cool for the most part. It hasn't been too insane. Like, we still talk to each other, we're still kind of friendly with each other. But yeah, like, it's a little confusing. Like, you know, like, do I try and reconcile with her down the road? And there's a whole bunch of, you know, shit that's involved with that, or like, do I just keep doing what I'm doing, just keep building myself and growing as a man, and just, you know, being there for my daughters. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you on the next one.